Welcome to the final Capstone summary presentation. This is for the Bethel University President's Circle. The Capstone group named itself Strategic Achievers. The team consisted of Jim Bender, Deb Gravermoen, Bess Murray, and Anna Nelson. Our partnering organization was Bethel University's President's Circle, primarily Laura Hyder, manager. The Strategic Achievers provided consulting services for Laura Hyder, manager of President's Circle at Bethel University. The primary focus of the group was to develop a more relevant structure for the President's Circle through research and tools such as surveys, social media, and links to resources. We met with Ms. Hyder on April 12, 2017, and delivered the presentation of our recommendations. Strategic Achievers came together as a group at the very beginning of the Capstone course. We discussed strengths during that time and became a cohesive group. We had a discussion of ideas of what we could do as far as the project. 3 ideas were presented. After each idea was presented, we had a discussion regarding which project would be selected. The President's Circle at Bethel University was the project we deemed due to the scope of the project and the overall excitement of the group regarding it. Next, we had a client meeting with Laura Hyder to discuss what her expectations were. Following this meeting, the group came together to discuss the 3 types of deliverables that we could present to her. These deliverables will be presented in a couple of slides. Next, we discussed a division of work. As previously discussed, the group came together and acknowledged each other's strengths as well as individual strengths and tried to structure the work of the group so that each person was truly working off of the strengths versus doing work that was not exciting or they didn't feel that they could produce the same level of excellence. Anna's primary role was that of research. She conducted interviews. She also was in charge of submitting completed work to the professor for the course. Due to Anna's excellent organizational skills and ability to see fine detail, she also was responsible for fine-tuning of all of projects and presentation information to make sure that it was at a level of excellence and near perfection, if not perfect. Bess was in charge of organization of meetings as well as structure and organization of specific projects. She provided information regarding articles on generosity, wrote an article on generosity, and constructed a mock Facebook page. Deb was responsible as well for research. She conducted interviews and put together a superior client brochure to present to the client at the presentation. Jim was the point person for engagement with the client. He first brought the project to the group, and following that, stayed engaged with the client to let her know the progress of the presentation, as well as gathered any new information that needed to be brought to the group to incorporate into the presentation. The group came together and prepared the presentation. This was an extensive work session that lasted for about 5 hours. During this time, the group worked individually as well as collaboratively to produce the presentation. Next, the group delivered the presentation on April 12th to Laura Hyder. Following this the presentation consisted of an hour-long presentation in a conference room with Ms. Hyder. During this time, each member of the group took a turn with their own presentations as well as supporting one another. Ms. Hyder was informed that she was welcome to ask questions or interrupt at any time during the presentation, which she did a couple of times to gain clarity on some of the information. Once the presentation was concluded, the group presented her with a pamphlet constructed by Deb, also a zip drive that included the presentation, and a Google Doc which had multiple documents and research for her later reference. Following the presentation, the group came together to summarize how the presentation went and to brief on the collaboration. This is a representation of the work breakdown structure in a Gantt chart. As you can see, there were multiple levels of work that were put into this project by each team member individually as well as collectively as a group. Summary of client presentation. We discovered upon meeting with Laura Hyder that it was clear that the President's Circle was only known to a few Bethel staff members. The program needed direction on how to make it more meaningful to members. Similar programs at other universities were used as a reference for development. She also needed recommendations on what specific groups to target. She lacked tools and resources that could be used to share the President's Circle outside of Bethel. The following deliverables were researched and presented. First, recommendations on how to develop the President's Circle to be more meaningful for current members were presented to Ms. Hyder. Secondly, recommendations on how to target specific groups of givers at this level. These recommendations were not only focused on age groups, such as millennials, Gen X, baby boomers, but also focused on students in the undergraduate level, graduate level, and family members and community members of Bethel. Lastly, suggestions were developed to provide a more personal connection to the President's Circle outside the scope of Bethel University. This consisted of outreach to students and Bethel community members. We discussed social media and how to incorporate that, as well as partnering organizations with Bethel University for meet and greet types of events. The outcome summary, client focused. Throughout the presentation, Laura was engaged and frequently nodded in agreement with what our team was presenting. She did ask clarifying questions during the presentation. At the conclusion, we asked Laura if anything could have been better and if our work met her expectations. She reported that we had met her expectations and our research and suggestions were very helpful to her. She stated that she had increased confidence in the ideas she already had in place. Our research and suggestions were aligned and provided supporting evidence that she was headed in the right direction with the President's Circle. She stated she loved the ideas of using social media to really grab the millennials and had an assistant in mind to help her work on the Facebook page and other social media. Laura sent personal notes to all members of the team, reiterating how valuable to research and presenting, how valuable our research and presentation were to her work. Summary continued, group focused. For me, the greatest part of our group presentation was when Laura stated that we confirmed many of her thoughts and direction she wanted to take the current President's Circle at Bethel. I believe we gave her a huge confidence boost, and now she has new tools to go forward. Very rewarding. I ran into Laura today on campus. Once again, asked her if what we provided was on point and helpful. She stated the more she thought about it, the more excited she was about our feedback, ideas, and the research. It confirms what she was thinking and will help so much when she talks to leadership for funding and support. I liked how each member of the team really addressed Laura throughout the presentation. Each person was committed to giving her the information and making sure that she understood it. I think the presentation flowed very well, and we were all very invested in the project. Even though this was for a class, I feel we treated it like a job and that we were working on. The level of excellence of this group is outstanding. The information and deliverables provided by Strategic Achievers met and exceeded our client's expectations. She will use them as she and the advancement team create the President's Circle. Strategic Achievers' team dynamics were extraordinary, and all team members were equally committed and invested in the success of the project. The collaboration and communication of the group were the main contributors to the success of the project. By coming together in the beginning to discuss strengths, not only individually, but as a collaborative group, this team was able to develop a project in an excellent manner that truly brought the team together